Well, we wanted. I mean, we still try to spin our wheels, and so like my job's to make sure that they can win in the future. So like, I guess I'm supposed to be excited we won, but I wasn't extremely excited because of the way we did it. And I think they're pretty good. Don't get me wrong. I think they got a good team, better than people think. They played a one possession game at Marquette. They played Providence close. They got a good system, but we looked like emotionless at times. I thought. So I don't want to be negative, but like, it's only freaking December. Like, it's not like digging ditches, man. Like, you're supposed to have some fun out there. And so it's a maturity issue. It's not all of us. It's a couple of us. But like I can't do that. I'm not in the emotion business. Like, overall, pretty good, but like, a couple guys got to do better.
You went with Primo there in the last possession, obviously let it clear it out. I know when I was here earlier this year, you were talking about trying to figure out late game situations and things like that. Is it still sort of a work in process or work in progress, I guess, or is Primo kind of stepping up as a guy who can take that load?
Well, Leon's our best offensive player to me, and so we went to him a couple times. And then, Trey had a hard time, so I decided not to go to him. He had a hard time tonight. He tries, but he didn't quite have it tonight. And then Easley's kind of a good middle reliever. I like him in the middle of the game a little bit. So I knew Primo could at least get a shot, and I knew he could get it to the scoring area and get a shot. So that's why we went with him. And I didn't call timeout so they couldn't load up on us. You can't get much better shot than that, really. Like, you get a 15-foot pull up to his right hand, which he's good at. So, and he shot it about 6. I wish, we would have been a little less time left, but that's the way it went.
What's the message, if there is one, that you started those two guys in the backfield?
What's that? Say that again.
The message. Is there a message to anybody or to your team when you started those guys in the back that Jack got to start today?
Well, I think it's always a test of the emergency broadcast system when, you see how guys react to starting versus not starting, so you figure out if they really care about winning or they really care about themselves. So, like, that's all 9 of those guys are going to play. So what's the difference who starts if you really care about winning? So that's the biggest message, and Jack's the only one that hasn't started. So, I mean, we were 3-7 going in. What the hell's the difference? And I knew he could score. He's got good upside. He just got to get better at certain things. So maybe he could relax a little bit. Maybe he could relax a little bit when by starting. I thought he got off to a good start.
What do you like about those guys together?
Just got a little more breakdown ability, and Jack's a good shooter, So, I like the pop. I don't love him defensively, but I don't really love any of them defensively yet, to be honest with you. That's why I started Toby instead of Leon, because their best player is Martinez, and Toby's a better defender than Leon at this point. And he scores in the post too. That's why. What's that? Played better than anybody we had, and I made that point to our guys at the end. I didn't play him at crunch time, right? And he played better than all of them. So, but I've been telling Rotroff for the last week and a half that he's much better than he thinks he is. So he's strong, man. He's big and he's strong, and he's got good touch. He just hasn't been able to practice much because of that foot. So the more we can play him, the better off we're going to be. It keeps our guys a little fresher. I just wish all 3 of them would play good together one time. Like Trey can't play any worse than that for the skill level he has.
There was a stretch in the first half where you played Trey Williams and Austin Rotroff together. Is that something you're going to try to experiment more going on this season as Rotroff continues to get healthy?
Well, we have to keep them fresh, so I want to play those 3 guys in those 2 spots. It's kind of like what we did with Bailey Steele, Mike Hughes, and Marcus. We played 3 guys in 2 spots. I like that. Keeps them fresh. It gives you a little different lineup, where you can throw it in maybe to Trey with a 4-man on him, which is more like Marcus on a 4-man. So, yeah, I think we're going to do it a lot. Now Trey's got to get better guarding out on the floor, which he's never done in his life. So, and he got caught a couple times today, right? Like on things that he hasn't really been involved in.
He said the team seemed emotionless, right? Did he say that?
It seemed like it to me. You guys judge, though. Like, did you think so? I kind of thought so.
I wonder what was the demeanor of the team after that last game of the fall and carrying through. Did that bleed into this?
I think, look, man, if you lose as many close games as we have, and, you know, you got so many new guys that the grind of it, you know, you have – and then we've traveled a lot. You know, you figure we got back at 3 a.m. from Marshall. We had plane problems, charter plane problems coming back from DePaul, so we didn't get back till the next night at about 6 when we were supposed to be back that night from the game. And then we didn't practice at all on Wednesday or Thursday. I gave them Thursday off because they looked dead as hell too, so we lifted weights and did nothing. You know, I just felt it. You know how you just feel it? Less was more. We had enough to win, but like my thing is I don't know, like it's kind of like me. Like, would I rather sell stocks and bonds or coach basketball? I mean, once you coach basketball, you never want to sell stocks and bonds, even no matter how much money you make, right? Those guys thought that's exciting. I'm thinking, man, this is the most boring stuff I've ever seen in my life. It's the same thing with them, man. They have to understand that the game can be taken away from them like that. Man, it's not like digging ditches or doing construction or, you know, cleaning up or working in a nursing home. Like, if you don't love it, then there's something wrong with you. Right? Like, so that's my biggest problem is like, and then if you don't get what you want, then don't take your ball and go home. Right? Like, everybody wants to start, but like, be mature enough not to start.
Where does that show itself, do you think? Like when you say, I don't know, sort of seemed emotionless.
Just look in their face.
Okay.
I mean, that's simple. Just see how hard somebody's playing and look in their face. So for 2 weeks I've said, so is everybody good? We got 9 guys. Is everybody good? Like, whoever starts, right? And whoever doesn't start, we're good, right? We care about winning, right? Yeah. You got to fake it better than that. Like, right? Like, and it's human nature because these guys are so used to getting what they want forever, right? I don't get what I want, I go there. I don't get what I want, I go there. You know, my wife looks at me cross-eyed, divorce. You know, it's the way it is, man. Like, so maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm too old for this stuff, but like my job's to make them better people, right? At 63, that's all I care about is the relationship and making them better. That's all I care about. Now, I want to win along the way, don't get me wrong, but that's my obligation. So I could leave the game and be happy, right, that we won and fake it, or I can address it. And I addressed it, right? Some people wouldn't, some young coaches wouldn't address it, but I would because my obligation is to treat them like my own family. So if my son wasn't happy after somebody scored a game-winning goal and his team won, then there's something wrong with them. And I'm going to tell him. Now, look, I know you want to play more, son, or, you know, I know you want to start, but look, your team won. So, again, like, it's something we got to keep working on. And it's also something that teams that haven't won act like. Right? That's why teams don't win. Right? Because they figure, oh, hell, I'm putting all this time in. We're not winning anyway. Screw it. I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want. It's a problem. Look, like, and listen, the reason I addressed it is because they're all good people. That's what really is. That's the part that bothers me. They're good people, right? If they weren't good people, I probably wouldn't even address it with them. Those individuals. You can't fix bad people. These are good people. They're good people. I'm sure of it.
So they were emotionless after the game?
I mean, it wasn't like when Marshall hit their game winner. And by the way, Marshall was crappy the first half, right? I mean, you got to get excited. But I wasn't too excited either, to be honest with you, because I didn't like it. And I'm too smart to, to win and just sit there and enjoy it when you got to be better. I'm not going to – I can be bad. Like, even DePaul, like, we were okay for 30 minutes. And then but we were pretty good for 30 minutes. And, by the way, they went to Louisville and won. So, like, they're pretty good. Better than I thought even. So my point is in a loss, I may feel better than in a win. I don't like the result, but I may like the way it went down better than in a win. Again, I watch the tape and determine, but body language means a lot to me. Like, and I'm not naming any names, so, like, I'm not calling anybody out. But as a group, consistently, we got to have better body language. That's a mental toughness issue.
It's a weird transition, so apologies, but I want to go back to something you said earlier. I think, with a new team or with a lot of new guys that are trying to mesh together, a lot of people would think about offense and who's going to be the guy. But you mentioned earlier that a lot of guys are having to guard in ways that maybe they haven't had to before. Is that more of a, I don't know, like a growth experience almost in your mind, that's kind of the key, that's when you guys might kick it into gear, is when people start to understand the defensive side?
When we're secure in our own skin and care nothing about anything but winning, that's when we'll win. Now, I'll use Easley as an example, right? So I've probably been on Easley harder than anybody on the team, like nonstop, nitpicking him, nonstop. But he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. Like, he said to me the other day, and this was private talk, he said, Coach, I'm just happy I'm here just for the future relationship, the relationship we have. Now, as a coach, that means a lot to you. Now, and I don't think it's bullshit either. I think it's absolute truth. I do. I think it's absolute truth. So that doesn't mean I'm going to coach him any less hard or I'm going to not take him. I think he was the first one out of the game tonight. Right? I was so mad at him. But it means a lot because commitment both ways. Look, I'm the coach, but I'm still their friends. It's the same reason my staff is what it is. McFadden, Wygand, Thomas, McNeese, they all played for me. We're friends. They're my best friends. So when I'm done with these guys should be my friends. That's what coaching is. Now, some people don't want to be friends. Why? Because then they got to go all in, right? You got to go all in if you're really committed to one another, right? So if a guy's playing bad, my job is to spend more time with him to help him play, not less time. Or do I just gravitate to the great ones like LeBron? Ah, screw that guy. He's struggling. Those kids need time when they're struggling. So maybe I'm backwards. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was no good. I don't know. But I try to spend time with the guys that struggle. And then I have high expectations for the guys that play.
You talked about when it comes to starters at the bench, is it a situation where you're okay with Tyson Acuff coming off the bench because you know you have the emotional maturity and leadership to handle that without any issues?
Well, I know he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. Like, and he shouldn't like it, right? Because they all want to be great. Nobody really wants to come off the bench, right? Like, but he's a great kid. Like, but he don't like it. He don't like it when he doesn't play a lot. Just be mature and do your job. As Bill Belichick says, right? Do your job. If you care. You can't fake caring, right? So look, every good athlete I've ever been around, right? They all want to do well individually. So this is where coaching's changed. First comes them, then comes the team. But those are things that can coexist. You understand? Because if you play the right way, you'll play better, right? Which makes you better, and it also helps the team better. But if you play the wrong way, you're not going to play very well individually, which hurts the team as well. So put yourself first, which is fine. It used to be, hey, if the coach tells you to do something, you do it because it's good for the team. Now it's good for you, which is good for the team. So if a guy can't shoot the three and he's always shooting the three, or he can't come off the ball screen and handle the ball and he's always handling the ball, that's not good for him or us. But you have to tell him that it's not good for him. That's the difference now and 20 years ago. 20 years ago, they just listened to you and they did what was good for the team. Now you got to convince them it's good for them.
Do you think, when it comes to the emotional state after the game, do you think it was a little bit more relief instead of excitement?
Yeah, maybe. It's a good.
Losing the close game after the heartbreaker with Marshall and the other ones, where you just didn't want to lose that close game and finally get that monkey off the back?
It's a great point. So when Trey Williams missed the 2 free throws, what were you thinking? Oh, boy, here we go again, right? I mean, you can't help but not think that. I'm thinking to myself, man, where's your confidence? Like, we all have self-doubt. But with as many things as have happened to us, man, we had to have some big self-doubt. So what you say could be absolutely correct rather than, right? I agree 100%, Tristan.